And friends and musicians gathered recently to pay tribute to a tremendously talented musician, Russell Ames from Westport, a pianist who died a year ago this past September at the age of 91. Russell played with some of the world's finest musicians on Broadway, at Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center. He directed dozens of student and community theater productions of Gilbert and Sullivan and Broadway musicals. He was the director of development at 2 prestigious schools in the Bronx. He moved in the late 90s to the Adirondacks, where he was an avid hiker. It was here he met his neighbor, Alisa Endsley, a Broadway singer and actress, and they performed together in several shows at the Depot Theater and at the Han House in Elizabethtown. And it was there, at the historic Han House last month, that Alisa and many of Russell's friends and fellow musicians gathered for a special concert in his honor. Alisa performed a duet with Russell, using a recording from one of their past performances.
The colors of my life
are bountiful and bold,
are softer than a breeze.
The purple glow of indigo,
The silver gray of eiderdown,
the gleam of green and gold,
the dapple green of trees,
the splendor of a sunrise,
the amber of a wheat field,
the dazzle of a flame,
of a seed,
the glory of a rainbow,
the crystal of a raindrop.
I'll put them all to shame.
It's all I'll ever need.
No quiet browns and grays,
No reds are much too bold.
I'll take my days instead
In gold I find no worth.
and fill them till they overflow.
I'll fill my days with sage and
With rose
brown,
and cherry red.
the colors of the earth.
And should this sunlit world grow dark one day, the colors of my life will lead a shining light to show the way.
We just hit it off instantly. He was 35 years my senior, but it didn't matter. He was brilliant. We were literally like 2 peas in a pod. You know, I worked with some amazing musicians, you know, Broadway, West End, all that. He could just read what you were going to do. He could play anything in any key at any moment. He was stupendous.
Moon, river,
And did you enjoy performing with Russell?
I loved it. I miss him terribly. I really, really loved it. We had a great time.
And what did you enjoy about collaborating with Russell Ames?
Well, it was a real collaboration. I mean, it was truly, I'd come and I'd sing 2 notes of a song and he'd know what it was, and we would argue and fight and agree, and everything we collaborated on.
two drifters.
And he was so bright, and his wealth of knowledge was astounding. And I always said that we were born in different eras, but we were virtually the same musically. We had the same taste, which I found funny.
And why did you want to pay tribute to Russell with a performance?
Because he was a spectacular human being, and he was spectacular in all the many ways. He had so many different friends from many different walks of life. He was witty, he was fun, he was smart, unbelievably talented. He was probably the most soul-connected, brilliant musician I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And we just hit it off. We became just great friends. He didn't have any kind of a funeral. He had his ashes scattered off one of the mountains because he used to hike and hike and hike. And I jokingly said, oh, it's so Russell, you know, oh, I'm not going to have anything, but if all of you want to celebrate my life, that's fine. And to me, that was the underscore. And I'm so happy to have all these different artists come to celebrate him because he had so many artistic and musical friends. He had stories that would just absolutely blow your mind. You know, did I ever tell you about the time that I introduced Gypsy Rose Lee to Gloria Vanderbilt? Would just pop out. And he wasn't being grand. He was just recounting his life story. It was quite extraordinary.
And now my son's halfway through college. I pay tuition.
So when Russell passed, Rose, Chancellor, who started Piano by Nature, she couldn't imagine Russell's piano going to some auction. And she felt it was very important to have it here for the community. And so she put it together, and she's purchased the piano, and they're actually having a fundraiser. That's what tonight is. And there's also a fundraiser online. And they rebuilt the piano. So it cost, I think, $25,000 or $30,000 to rebuild his beautiful Steinway Grand. And the first concert with the Grand, I sort of sat quietly weeping in the corner, and then towards the end of the concert, one of my students sat down and looked in the soundboard, and I thought, that's exactly what Rose wanted. He's going to continue in the community.
The concerts held last month were not only a tribute, but also fundraisers. Donations are being accepted. You can visit the Piano by Nature website if you'd like to learn more. And you can watch the full tribute concert to Russell Ames on our YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you all. He would have loved this.